a story that has been gripping the nation. It's something I wanted to get you on to talk about. Really, I was introduced to this woman by my husband Frank, and we're both obsessed. Every night we're watching new videos. So there is an extremely corrupt mayor in a city in Illinois called Dolton.
Dolton,
I
yep.
guess. Yeah, she's the mayor of Dolton, Illinois. She's also the town supervisor of Thornton. Just so much corruption, so much shit going on with this woman. There's a sexual abuse case against her and Dalton trustee Andrew Holmes, where Tiffany's assistant claims that she was sexually assaulted on a taxpayer funded trip to Vegas last May. There she has a corrupt charitable foundation called the Tiffany Cares Foundation that's also been under scrutiny recently. The Thornton Township donated $10,000 to her charitable foundation, which she goes back and forth. She'll say, "Oh, I'm not involved. People are just using my name. You know, people can use my name for whatever cause they want." But then she's also said, "I'm the face of it. I'm the name. It's all about me." And she's such a freaking, I think she's a narcissist. Like, you look at her Instagram, like, you can always tell a lot about a woman from their Instagram. It's just wild. She's been, I guess, caught using local police as her own personal security. She was caught paying one officer over 300 hours in a 2-week period, which is basically, if you know how many hours are in a week, that's like basically you don't sleep. You don't. This man did nothing but secure her.
Oh yeah, he definitely secured her. You know that.
He's anti-bono. He's pro bono. He's pro and anti-bono. I don't know what kind of bono he is. She purchased 2 SUVs for $90,000 used the town money, but she actually paid, I think, $150K for the SUVs, which means she's clearly getting a cut. Her face and name are on just about everything. There was a tree cutting scam where, like, she double dipped. Like, she commissioned one group to trim said trees in the town and then paid another group to, with the same trees, cut them down like a week later. She opened up I believe, an ice skating rink. Is only using it for private events, says it's for the whole community. Just trips galore, so much shit. That's just a small sampling. I want to know how you kind of came across her, and I know you've done much deeper dives into Tiffany, and I just want to know how does this happen? It seems like I wish I had a fraction of the confidence, Tiffany. You know what I mean? Like, I even look at the take a penny, leave a penny at the Dunkin' Donuts, and I go, "Ugh, I don't need that penny." You know what I mean? Like, I'll just. I want to know, how did you discover this woman? How did this happen?
Well, first, shout out to the Commentary King. It's another channel. It's my boy Drag Not Silvis. He helps me out in the background. He works for me in the background. And he was and so what he does is that we the way me and my team generally work is that every week we kind of cycle through different stories to see if anything that's funny. And he was like, "Yo, here's this story about this crazy mayor in Dolton." This was before I became like big news. It was like way back. So I saw the news report and I was like, "Yo, this is something that'll be funny to cover." So we went and did our little research and covered it. And generally, my stories at that time were getting like 5,000-6,000 views. So it was like some number like that, and that story got like 200,000 views because it was just hilarious. So that's kind of how we discovered Tiffany Henyard. And then like every week, like more craziness happened. So it was dressing up as Nino Brown, telling the townspeople, "Bitch, you better have my money." Like, she just was going crazy. So yeah, like it was.
She's anti-bono.
Like, so it just became such a whirlwind. So we started covering it, and then we just started seeing the numbers start growing. Like, it was like 200,000 people. The next video, 600,000 people. Then we had a video with that 1 million on Tiffany Henyard. Then every video now we did of Tiffany Henyard was like 400, 300, 400,000 views because people were just like looking at the craziness because every week it was just something more crazy. So now we talk to the trustees and we talk to this person, we talk to that person, and it's just been insane. So it's really been the Tiffany Henyard stuff. It's been amazing. So that's the way we found her. We found her from my friend Dragnot. He found her. And we've been off ever since.
Oh my God, these numbers. Yeah, 331K. We can't get enough. We can't get enough of Tiffany. For how long has this been going on with her?
I think I don't know. I gotta look at my oldest video. It's gotta be almost a year ago, I think, because I know it was last year when we found her. And it just went and yeah, so it's about last year when we found her. And I'm not sure if it was somebody from Fox News, but somebody from one of the news outlets actually shared one of my videos and was like,
Wow.
people need to hear about what this woman's doing. So in that video kind of like went through everything. So it just was insane. But a lot of people don't know what's been happening with Tiffany Henyard. So right when she was elected, all this madness started happening. So the towns was like, we got to vote her out. We have to get her off of this. We need to get her out from being mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And when they tried to get her out from being, they tried to recall her. But in the state of Illinois, which is, just so everybody understands, one of the most corrupt states in the nation, when it comes to politicians, more politicians have been arrested from Illinois than any other state. They tried to do the recall election and it failed. Yeah, it's one of the most corrupt states in the country. They tried to get her out and they voted her out with the recall, but a judge invalidated the recall election. So they essentially are stuck with her until they have the next election. So that's kind of what happened, which is next year. So she's got another year to go.
Whoa. And even God, even just today, there's more news. Every day there's more coming out about her. Let me see what I was just able to pull up right before we went live. Even okay, our faces are up close. God, Dolton residents God, she's under investigation by the FBI now.
Yes. So the story goes is that at first we were, everybody, myself, actually, I gave a shout out to all these people, Actual Justice Warrior, Hannibal, Pink Book Lessons, all these other YouTube channels who are also covering the same story. So we were been screaming like, "Where's the FBI?" You know, it's clear this woman is going. This is ridiculous. When you have your security guards getting paid, again, it was like $13,000 for a 2-week period. In 2 weeks, there's only 336 hours in a 2-week period. She paid one of her personal security guards 303 hours in that 2-week period. That's obviously you got a problem, right? There's no possible way. That means essentially he only had 2 hours off every day that week. So he's working, getting paid for every other hour. So obviously it was. And
how come she doesn't know that? Like, how come she goes, all right, like let's do a reasonable amount of stealing here. Not, you know what I mean? Like, don't make it 200 hours a week. Why do you have to make it an unreasonable number, like 300 something?
Well, don't forget Tiffany Henyard. This is not someone who I think she's in over her head. She became mayor. She got this job and she doesn't know what the
also, she came into a surplus, right? Wasn't this?
Yeah.
Didn't Dolton have something like $5 million extra because the person before her did such a good job?
Yeah. So the person before, I'm not even sure if they did a good job, but there was a surplus of like $2 million before when she came in.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay.
No. I think no. You definitely do. No, there was a surplus. I think it was $2 million, and the police, like for instance, the police overtime budget before she came in was like $500,000 for the total for the year. After she came in, it went up to like 1.5 million, and $1 million of that was her just for her security, because she was taking the security everywhere. Like she took them to Las Vegas. She was like wherever she went, she took security. And people were like, you don't need security to go everywhere.
No one knows who the fuck you are.
Yeah, but she's going around. And don't forget too, as a cop, you only have authority to be a cop in Illinois. If I go to Vegas, I don't have any. I'm not a cop in Las Vegas. I don't have any authority to arrest anybody there. So I might be you might be doing body work where you're just kind of shading the person, but you can't arrest anybody. You can't do anything there. So matter of fact, in a lot of states, it's illegal to do like I know in New York, you have to be licensed to do security work. So in some places, it's even illegal to do that unless you have like special permission. So Tiffany Henyard, she was doing that, and essentially what happens is now with the FBI subpoenas, what we see is happening is she was just hooking up all her friends. She got in there and was hooking up all her friends. Like there's one guy, his name is Lavelle Redmond. He was a friend of hers from back in the day. But the only issue is that he was a child sex offender. He was convicted of the brutal rape of a 14-year-old girl. And what did she do? Because she's they're friends. She gave this guy a badge and gave him the authority as almost like a cop, a code enforcement agent, to go into people's homes.
Yikes.
A registered
stay away from
sex
the kids'
offender.
rooms. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Tiffany Henyard. I think she's just, unfortunately, I think she's a DEI hire. I think she really is, because when you go back, like we've gone back and looked at like the election stuff and what people were saying, and they were all saying the same thing. We need the first woman. We need this. We need this. And don't get me wrong. I love the fact if you want to have a woman lead, that's all good and well. But at least get somebody qualified. Tiffany Henyard before this, like they had a mugshot of her breaking into cars and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at this on her Instagram. She has to let everyone know she's the youngest and the first woman mayor of Dolton and supervisor of Thornton Township. She's the most powerful woman in the Southland of Chicago. # super mayor. She's a humble woman.
Don't forget though, just so everybody understands too, she holds 2 jobs. Her first job is the mayor of Dolton. That pays her about $50,000 a year. Now, just imagine that, $50,000 a year, but you got $1 million worth of security. But anyway,
wow.
So she's getting paid $50,000, but she's also the supervisor of Thornton Township. Now, what that means is that she leads Thornton Township is about 20 or 30 different towns and villages who pool their money together, and that's when you get the Thornton Township. So there's like 30 different communities. Dolton is one of them that's within Thornton Township. So she's the supervisor of them all. She's the leader of all of that. And in that role, she makes $240,000 in that role. So in both roles together, she's making almost $300,000 from both Thornton Township and Dolton.
That explains why she has such nice teeth.
And that's where the name Super Mayor comes from. Supervisor, mayor. Super Mayor.
Wow. And didn't she, oh God, what was the other thing she did? And I don't know for which role she did this, but did she make it so that if someone were to replace her, they'd only be making $25,000 a year?
So that's what she did with Thornton Township. So Thornton Township, she's making 220 or 240, one of the two. Don't quote me, but I think it's like 220. I'll use 220 to be more conservative. She's getting paid 220. So she put it's known as a poison pill. If I lose the election, the salary reverts back, and you only get, and the next person gets only $25,000. But if I win, I keep my salary. So that's what she did.
Sore loser clause. Yeah. That
She
is
didn't want anybody to run
crazy.
against her.
How is that even possible? Like, I'm blown away. And how does someone know how to do all this? Like, how does she know how to steal all? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm super naive. Like, I know I am a mayor and not a super mayor, but how do you learn to like shake the whole town's down like this? I'm a little impressed.
But think about this. The problem is that number one, Cook County and Illinois is all corrupt as it is anyway. But if you're in a small town and the mayor is stealing money and doing whatever, who's going to enforce that? You would look to see if maybe the state or somebody, but none of them are doing anything. That's why the feds had to come in. Nobody is, like, for instance, when it came to the board of to the city council, she just refuses to give them any information. She's like, because they were like, hey, we're not paying for this. So she just refused to give them any information. So if I refuse to give you information, then what can you do? Who can they go to? They try to go to the court, but it takes courts months to figure things out. So while they're doing that, she's still playing. Like right now, the FBI found out that they were actually there were checks written to cash. So when you go back and some of the board meetings, I think it was one check for like $60,000 written to cash from the town. The town's writing checks to cash. And so Tiffany Henyard and her cronies said, well, we're writing those checks to cash because we're paying a vendor. We paid this vendor in cash. But then that vendor comes back and says, we never got paid. So where'd that money go?
She also has a podcast, and the latest episode I love because it's titled Poof Be Gone. This is just a snippet of the Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast.
And then turn around and say, oh, it's her, it's not me. Stop it. Stop it, sir. Larry the liar, stop it. You caught. Poof, be gone. You caught. Stop. Now, what you got going on up in here? What is this? I don't know, like a little boom boom room. What is this?
What the fuck is this?
I don't know.
This is an episode? This is 29 seconds.
I don't know what she's doing. But she's I'm assuming she's going to be going to jail soon now. She's going to be going to jail.
This is the real episode.
Yeah, she really
episode 1, Truth Speaks.
be happy though. I miss the old Tiffany.
I liked her better with curls.
She got another
This
exclusive.
is like a music video.
Sound like the typical Tiffany.
Yeah,
Another
this is her.
exclusive?
Uh-huh.
This is like
Typical Tiffany.
Oh my
an
God,
R&B
that?
song.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I saw it on
I'm
the
sorry, if your
internet,
mayor
so
is
it must be true.
putting together a podcast.
Really?
Y'all ready for this?
Oh my god!
I heard she started
Hilarious.
a podcast.
She's on the move.
4 episodes or so, we will talk about the mess. Because I'm going to lay it to rest.
Oh god.
But you know what the problem is that like she tried to do this last night. I don't know if you ever know of information bombing, where let's say I have a piece of paper and I'm just holding up the piece of paper like
Yes,
I
it's
got
what,
receipts.
it's what we did to the Japanese.
Yeah, I got receipts, and you're like, what the hell? Like I don't know what that receipt says. She's like, yeah, I got a receipt that I paid $1 million.
I saw that. Yeah,
So,
she was like, I got all the receipts, and I was like,
but she just
all
she
right.
puts up papers. Nobody knows what those papers are. It's just like, you know. So, but that's the the one thing about Henyard, I think it really shows the stage in which I think people were so desperate to just vote in people because of who they are. You know, you happen to be, well, I'm sorry, not who they are, but what they are. She happens to be a woman. She happens to be black. Like even like when they were voting in to Thornton Township, that's a couple of things they were saying. Oh, we thought it'd be great to have the first black woman, but that's all well and good. But is she qualified? Right? Is she qualified? And that's where it's all messed up.
Qualifications, Nate. I mean, is that really important?
No, not well. It doesn't seem like it's important because it's sad because it's the people like like a lot of times you'll hear people say we want to help the black community. But the sad part about this is she's doing it to other black people. She's even going to call them racist. She's literally calling the black people in that
gaslighting left and right, and she seems like to follow the BLM method of just get as much money for yourself as you can. And I'm seeing this comment in the chat. She's probably already put the money in an offshore account. Oh,
don't get me started on BLM. You're gonna make me go crazy here. That's insane. I call it by large mansions. Because like what are they doing with all that money? Like that's crazy.
It was really great for a couple of them, the ones that got the mansions.
Yeah, like the founder's brother who got like a $500,000 a year job. It's like insane. So, but you know what? Matter of fact, here's a video I did. This is the one that Fox News showed. I'll put it in
can
the
you
chat.
pull it up or should I pull it up? Let's see.
Yeah. I'll send it to you right now. Well, it's the guy from Fox. He shared it on Twitter.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put it on this one, but this is the one that kind of just went like crazy. There it is.
Viral. Ooh, okay. I love your graphics. Okay, pulling it up. Yes.
This is crazy. You guys will see. Okay, people. This is probably one of the craziest stories you're going to hear about a corrupt mayor. First,
I like the
watch
Charmander.
this clip.
Nobody knows something. Don't nobody know nothing.
He has a dog.
Tiffany Henyard certainly isn't shy about attracting attention. Here she is starting a Dolton Village board meeting, dressed like the Wesley Snipes character in the movie New Jack City, later punctuating her political points with the help of her own DJ.
Every single resident.
No.
Pay me what you owe me. Thank you, DJ.
Now, if starting a town hall meeting as a crack dealing gangster isn't enough, check this out.
Furious after a Fox 32 investigation found this registered child sex offender on the public payroll.
A sex offender, you don't give them carte blanche to go into different people's homes.
46-year-old Lavelle Redmond is close friends with Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who in September hired Redmond as a code enforcement officer without the village board's approval. Redmond served 25 years in prison for the brutal gang rape and beating of 2 young teenage girls in the 1990s, and was arrested and charged after our first story aired for violating the reporting requirements of the sex offender registry. But Mayor Henyard says her friend deserves a second chance, infuriating a number of Dolton residents.
They're pretending to cut the tape on something, it looks like, in that photo.
But Mayor Henyard says her friend deserves a second chance, infuriating a number of Dolton residents. Fox 32 has also obtained this cell phone video showing Redmond interacting with the mayor and little children at a back-to-school event in Dolton. Notice the badge on his waist.
So you got that? She literally hired a child blank offender to go into people's homes.
A child enthusiast.
Under the color of law. And that person is hanging out with children. Crazy. And, I hate to say but wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. See, the mayor went on I would like to call it a spending spree. And what do I mean by spending spree? Shopping? I mean going out and just throwing away the town's money.
Women do be shopping.
She had to get called out by the local town city council because she spent $148,000 on a Chevy Tahoe. Now, what is a Chevy Tahoe generally cost? Now, I went to Chevy.com and said, well, how much is the most expensive Chevy Tahoe on the market?
This, a deep dive.
The Chevy Tahoe. This is the fully loaded 4-wheel drive Super, right? This one, manufacturer suggested retail price of $79,295. This is the top of the line model. This is what you get if you got some money. Now, listen to how much the mayor didn't buy it for, but leased it for.
Listen with your white
Listen to this price.
I sat here and looked at a lease that y'all's paying $149,000 for one of them trucks. You make absolute. That's like when you 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate 27%. That makes absolutely no sense. You're not making great finance. Excuse me.
Please state facts.
But let me tell you, here it is.
Did you say please dated facts?
December 2022, the cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71. Interest and APR, $55,929.49. Total lease price, $149,146.20. Tell me if it's not facts.
How does that happen? Should she know? Does she buddies with the dealership?
I make no claims, but that is insane.
Let's see if Tangenique, that's like a unique tangerine. Let's see if Tangenique knows.
It's just all on it.
I don't see that.
Okay, but
she don't see a signature on it.
I don't.
All right.
I'll
but
get my statement in a few minutes.
At the end of the day, it's not about going back and forth with you. It's about making financial decisions that is in the benefit of everybody and just not one person. And you can't seem to understand that.
Yeah, that's double the price, right? Double the price. It's about 70-something thousand, and they're spending $150,000 not to own it, but to lease it.
What?
Not even insanity. Now we have more. We have so much more we have to talk about because it's insane. But let me at least introduce you to who we're talking about. This is Tiffany Henyard. She's 37, and she was elected the youngest mayor in Dolton history. And she was elected in 2021. here is her election stuff.
The new mayor says she has big plans for the village of Dolton. She wants to boost the economy and curb crime.
She wants to boost
Are you
her
ready
economy.
to take your oath?
Tonight,
Yes,
Dolton's new
I'm
mayor, Tiffany Henyard, sworn in.
Dalton residents, I am reporting for duty.
Henyard, now the first woman and the youngest person.
A corsage, like it's prom on her wrist. What is this normal?
This is not normal. The first, but you hear the first woman. Let's see, they laid out all the
Like
first. The first, the
Freaking
first, the
Miss
first.
Universe up there. Look at this woman with a whole face shield. Here.
They're outside too. They're outside.
I think I see some bugs stuck to the windshield here. This is look. This person has a Tiffany Henyard COVID mask on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy.
It's not. This isn't even a Bible. These are just all her receipts.
To show how she's gonna be spending their money.
Oh my goodness. Is there anything else I should jump to on this video?
Yeah, jump to the part that's actually great. Jump to 8:19. I mean, not 8:19. 8:14. That's the part that's going to be the best.
Ooh.
We're all in the dark. Not only are the residents in the dark, but the trustees are also in the dark as well.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Ooh.
What is that? You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Her mind just went back to like shots, everybody.
Like you didn't go to Las Vegas?
Cut to her in a foam party.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. But you see, that's what people are dealing with. You could that's there's a couple of more things, but that's
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Ooh.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Maybe.
Any other questions?
Actually, yes. The credit card records do shed some light on tax dollars spent at several restaurants near the Strip, including Cafe Hollywood and Hot and Juicy Crawfish.
Hey, you know what? A hungry mayor is not going to get anything done.
That's true. That's true.
We
It's a
need
good
these
point.
meals.
Yeah. So
All right. Any other questions?
That is the corruption. If you go back to where she's like, that's just so hilarious.
Oh, did you go to Vegas?
Any other questions?
What?
Actually,
She's trying to be cute with him.
I think you got to go back to what 816 air go.
Trustees are also in the dark as well.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me.
So she doesn't use credit cards? Is that what she's trying to say?
Yeah, that's what she's trying to say. She doesn't handle anything with credit cards because that's the way. Yes, because that's the way they've been dealing with the credit. That's the way they've been spending a lot of the money. It's because if you just so everybody understands, if you spend over a certain amount, you have to get it approved by the board.
Right.
So what she's been doing is spending it all on credit cards and then having to pay the credit cards back. So the board is like, we know that scam. We're not going to pay the credit cards until you show us why you're using the money on the credit card.
Right.
So that's why she's saying I have nothing to do with credit cards.
Oh, I just carry around a sack with a $sign on it. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Well,
What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
Actually, yeah.
it's actually hilarious.
Yes. It's honestly, it's pretty sad though, because I think it's sad because she's really just taking advantage of those poor people in Dolton. Like really, like, you know, it's just, it's unbelievable. That's the recall election. And the sad part about it is that it's not really about her, but the next person that comes behind her who wants to who wants to become mayor, who happens to be a Black woman. Now they're going to get the scrutiny that
they're going to need to have a cock. They're going to
like,
need to bring something different to the table. You can't just have a regular Black woman in this position anymore. You need to be a woman with a penis. So make people feel like they can trust you again.
Well, it's sad because people overgeneralize like that a lot of times too, and that's the same thing like with what's going on with Marvel now. Marvel like, oh, we gotta have the first minority woman to do all these movies and blah blah blah, and then all those movies fail. Like all these movies that are done by minority women directors. Which it's funny because Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman was a woman director. I love that movie. I thought that was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Like, out of that movie, I was like, wow, that's a great movie. But then you go Captain Marvel the second Captain Marvel. That movie sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that it's not about just that's what happens when you just hire somebody based on what they look like. It's that you actually close the door on other people's opportunities instead of hiring the best possible person, like Ryan Coogler, who did Black Panther, $1 billion movie that he opened the door for all these other minority directors to be able to do it. But then you close it when you hire bad directors, and then the movie flops. Right? That's not helping anybody. It's hurting the cause. So I'm sorry, I'm preaching right now.
No, preach away. Preach away. I'm going to play
22. In a recall fight in Chicago's south suburbs, people in the village of Dolton voted to kick the mayor out of office.
Now, shockingly, the mayor won.
Uh-oh.
The mayor went to court after she was recalled.
No, you're wrong.
And won.
How y'all doing?
This is her music again. She's playing.
Her she's celebrating the judge throwing out the recall election. Ain't no stopping us now.
She's like, make sure I get these balloons. We need to get the balloons.
Ain't no stopping us now.
All right, karaoke night apparently at City Hall. That's Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard kicking off tonight's board meeting with her rendition of the 1979 hit Ain't.
She's just trying to make it fun. I think she wants to bring like nightlife elements to her job. You're in this boring room with these desks and chairs. The lighting is unflattering. She needs balloons. She needs shooting confetti canyons. She needs cocktails. She's just trying to make this job fun.
She's insane. She's insane. And she's going to jail.
Jail?
To jail. Yeah, she's going to jail.
Like nice jail or
I think she's going to prison. Last night at the board meeting, it was funny because people started taking off their wig like this, black women in their wigs. This woman took off her wig and was like, I can't wait for you to go to jail. I was like, all right, now you're being serious now. Yeah, took off the wig. So.
When I'm very passionate, I take my hair off too. Wow. It's crazy how long this has gone on for and how long she's been able to get away with this and how much had to happen for the feds to finally start looking into her.
You know what? If you go to 718 mark, you'll see when she literally kicked the city council. 718.
Oh, 7.
She kicked, yes, when you go to 718, that's when she kicks the city council out. He had to meet on the street. You think I'm joking? Check this out.
Good evening to you. The mayor locking the trustees out of Village Hall tonight, forcing them to have a meeting out in the parking lot, all of which has Dolton residents shaking their heads in disbelief.
We had a quorum, we had the clerk, and we had a board meeting.
Oh, this feels familiar.
Why the pushback on her part?
That's the guy who was a former trustee.
Okay. Yeah, I recognize him from
yeah.
some of the other videos.
Yeah,
he's a solid citizen. This is a good dude.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, there's things on the agenda that she doesn't want us to pass.
So what's there for the mayor to do? Well, hey, they can't meet, so let me go spend some more of their money in Las Vegas. Check this out.
Yes.
And then there are the trips to Las Vegas.
Because I can't really think about what Dolton needs unless I'm in Las Vegas. It helps me clear my head and think about what the people need.
Mayor Henyard and other top officials traveled to Sin City in May to attend a shopping center conference. It's unclear if it helped Dolton land any deals.
Don't have a clue. We're all in the dark. Not only are the residents in the dark, but the trustees are also in the dark as well.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you.
Oh my God. I hope she had fun.
And we haven't talked about the charity scam, we haven't talked about the Attorney General's office getting on it. We haven't talked about any of this other stuff. And this is again, This is one out of many videos. It's literally crazy. When she gave away $1 million of the town's money, it's insane. It's insane.
Now, if she goes to jail, are they going to be able to find like where she squirreled away all this money and get it back, or do you think there's certain funds that she just has locked away somewhere?
I think most of that money is like a fart in the wind that's gone. So
It's spent. You mean
it's gone. Yeah. Her chief, her number 2, the guy that she has running both Thornton Township and Dolton, he got arrested for bankruptcy fraud. So he's working for Dolton, getting paid $100,000 a year, and he filed for bankruptcy, but didn't tell the bankruptcy court that he worked for Dolton. He essentially hid it, and then had Dolton pay a shell company his salary. So the feds were like, we see what you're doing. So they got him for bankruptcy fraud. And now the feds found out.
People know how to do this. Are there online classes?
But that's stupid though. If you're filing a bankruptcy, they say, "Where do you work?" And you obviously he's up there every week, right next to the mayor. So why would he lie about getting paid? Right? It's like he's right there. We can all see you're working for Dolton. And even on top of that, so that I think opened the floodgates up, because now the FBI issued I think 6 subpoenas, 3 for Dolton and 3 for Thornton Township. And what they're doing, they issue subpoenas about the shell companies. Like, hey, has Keith Freeman, that's the guy's name, he has all these LLCs. So they're like, we want to see any payments that went to these LLCs. We want to see any of these checks to cash, and we want to see the employment records for all these people who are getting these tremendous amounts of doing 24 hours of overtime in a day. We want to see their employment records to see when the hell they clocked in and clocked out and what justifies this thing. So I'm assuming people are going to jail. And let's not forget about her charity, which has gotten something like $20,000 or $30,000 in funds, $10,000 in cash, and they paid for the credit cards, they paid for the hotels and the travel.
Wow,
that's like $30,000 of the town's money. But when the attorney general was like, "Yo, you got to when you have a charity," for everybody who in the chat doesn't know, when you have a charity, which is a 501c3 generally, or non-for-profit,
sounds like a huge bra size. But
that's not like I just thought about that. 501c3. But when you run a charity, because they exempt you from taxes, you have to tell the government how you spent that money. They have not told the government how they spent that money.
They're like, look, it was Vegas. Don't ask, don't tell. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Doesn't everybody know this? Something
like that. But that money is like it's gone. It's not that money's not gone, but they didn't report it. So the attorney general was like, you can't even raise funds for that charity. You can't get any donations. And then on top of that, the Vegas trip is where the young lady got sexually assaulted. So that happened by the other trustee the
shopping conference. She got felt up at the shopping conference.
No, she got the Cosby cocktail.
Oh wow!
So allegedly, she's got a Cosby cocktail. Went up to the guy's room, fell out, and next thing you know, he's bragging to a cop. There's a cop because she took the cops with her. He's bragging to a cop, calls the cop up. And the cop is like, well, put it on, what's it called? FaceTime. He turns on FaceTime, shows her naked in the bed, all this other stuff. He says the cop starts recording the FaceTime. So they have all this recorded. And so he recorded the whole thing. And but she just came out and she wakes up and doesn't even know that any of this happened. And then the cop essentially shows her the video where the guy says he had unprotected sex with her and all this other stuff. So they filed charges in Vegas, and then they sued them in Illinois.
Holy shit. Yeah, this is the article from Nope.
Yeah,
that's the other one. Get it together,
you got
Chrissy.
like the Cosby cocktail. Oh, this Ronnie.
Hello. Oh, Ron Coleman. We love him. Let's pull this up. Yeah, this is the sexual assault.
Yeah, that's
Former
her.
assistant addresses alleged Vegas sexual assault. Ooh, what does she say? Oh, come on.
To be in violation.
The ads.
Yeah, it's on YouTube without that stuff. So.
Oh my God, how embarrassing.
You got to get ad blocker.
I do. See, I sometimes use Brave, the Brave browser.
Oh yeah, Brave. Oh
But then
yeah.
I was told that it's bad. So now
Oh,
I'm
Brave,
on.
Brave is bad. Oh, I didn't know that.
It was mucking up my streams. I don't know who
We're
to believe.
hearing from the woman at the center of a lawsuit involving Dolton Village trustee Andrew Holmes and the mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
He's a little blurry.
The woman accuses Holmes of sexually assaulting her. NBC5's Regina Waldrop has been working on this story for several months.
She's the mayor's former assistant, and we want to make it very clear, we did not interview her. She provided us with a link to a pre-taped statement that details what she says happened during and after a taxpayer-funded trip to Las Vegas.
It's the taxpayer.
She says she's a survivor of an assault, and the time has come to share her story.
But this has been a long journey for me already.
Fania Dukes filed a civil lawsuit against her old boss, Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, and
Pause it for a
trustee
second.
Andrew Holmes, accusing.
I gotta say, Fania Dukes is one hell of a name. Not to say what
Yeah.
I'm like Fania Dukes. I'm like, all right, that's one hell of a name, Fania Dukes. I've
Daughter of Mama Dukes.
because and also Fania Dukes, her name is it's the FBI search warrants. I'm not FBI subpoenas. Her name is listed as one of those employees on those search warrants. So
I wonder if she's anti or pro bono.
Holmes of assault and Henyard of retaliation.
That I'm fighting for every woman that's.
I bet Tiffany has one of these little like knocker things. What do you call it? A lawyer knocker? A little gavel?
Oh, the gavel.
A knocker. I bet she has one that's like encrusted with
jewels
rhinestones and whatnot.
Accusing Holmes of assault and Henyard of
knocker.
retaliation.
That I'm fighting for every woman that's been in my position. I'm fighting for a sister that doesn't have a voice. I'm fighting for a sister that's scared.
The incident
I mean, you
allegedly
went to
occurred May
Vegas.
24th
What do you-
last year during an economic development trip to Las Vegas.
Economic
that's now under federal
development.
investigation. On that trip, Henyard, a handful of Village and Thornton Township reps, and trustee Andrew Holmes, whom Fania called Uncle Drew.
He made everyone feel comfortable. I've even been in places by myself with him, in cars, wherever, by myself, plenty of times before ever anything. And he's never gave me an inkling of he'll harm me. He
right.
will make a pass at me. He's
But
never
it's
done
Vegas,
any of that.
baby. According to the suit after dinner and
Go on in
walking the Las Vegas Strip with trustee Holmes, Fania felt disoriented and ultimately blacked out.
Until my last memory was me waking up in his room.
The suit details a conversation between Fania and Officer Byron Miles when they returned from.
It's what you call a yada yada yada.
The Cosby cocktail. That's what people are calling the Cosby cocktail. Yeah.
Where you don't remember what happens. Maybe it's for the best. They'll be like, I'll bring you up to speed. Nobody came. There. Okay. Wow. And also recently, I think there was some drama involving Lori Lightfoot.
Yeah.
I think this just came out today. Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard vetoes hiring a former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. What were they going to hire her for?
So the trustees hired Lori Lightfoot. So what they're having like these battle meetings. So first you have the regularly scheduled board meeting on the first Monday of the month. So then the trustee, but the mayor doesn't allow anybody to put anything on the agenda. So that the trustees, the law allows the trustees to do is to have their own meeting. If you have, I think, 4 trustees who say we want to have a meeting, they can now have a meeting. It's called a special board meeting. At the special board meeting, if the mayor was to come, she would run the meeting, but she doesn't come to the meeting. She just, she's like, I don't want to come to the meetings. So at the special board meetings, that's what the trustees do what they want to do. And that's just as good as the other meetings. So they hired Lori Lightfoot. But then the next board meeting, the mayor vetoes that. And now the next trustee special board meeting, they're going to override the veto of the mayor and hire Lori Lightfoot. So that's the way they do it now. So the next special board meeting, which should be like next week or something, that's when they're going to override the mayor's veto. And Lori Lightfoot's job is to investigate the mayor's spending and everything. But the thing is that the mayor's not giving the feds the information. She's not giving the state AG the information. Why the hell is she going to just give Lori Lightfoot the information, right?
No, yeah.
So,
what makes you think she's going to be straight up with her? But you know why I think Lori Lightfoot is the right gal for the job? Because Let's bring up a picture. Oh God.
Beetlejuice. They're gonna bring up the Beetlejuice
Dramatic
picture.
effect. Oh, if I was only a little bit quicker, this would be so much funnier. So much funnier. I think it's good because her eyes go in two different directions. She'll be able to see more than the average person.
Lori Lightfoot. Yeah. I don't know why they hired Lori Lightfoot. I think there was this other, but if she can get something done, she can get something done. But I think the feds really got it because the feds are on this, and
she looks frightening. I would be so frightened. Yeah.
And with Tiffany Henyard, this is a paper case. I don't know if a paper case is, there's no. It's just like what's on the documents. Where'd you spend the money? Was this approved? That's it. So when it's a documents case, there's really nothing to argue about. It's like either you did the right thing, you didn't do the right thing. That's it. Oh, please
and
ask
do you
me
think
about
all of
Chrissie
her? Do you think all of her spending is documented, or she? Is there probably a lot of it that, I mean, clearly you can see, oh, she spent X amount for a car, but really it cost this amount. Okay, you can see, okay, the difference in that amount probably ended up in her pocket or somebody's pocket. But do you think there are discrepancies that there's no even paper trail for?
Well, the issue. All right, so I've investigated public officials before who've had spending issues. Generally, the way you catch them is the procedure. Number one, you can only spend public funds on certain things, like when I worked at the when I was a cop and when I worked at the university, they gave us a credit card for the government. This is your government credit card to spend, but I could only spend that on certain things, right? I couldn't go and get my car fixed with it or get my roof. So if those type of expenditures, those would fall under theft. Those would be illegal. Also, writing checks to cash and then saying you're paying vendors or you're not, those are things that are easy, and the overtime too. So I think right now, just based on what you see, I think there's enough here where you definitely have something crazy. The money going to the charity, for instance, the overtime payments, those things, they have to be explained. If the feds find out that you're, funneling money to different people, like even the Keith Freeman guy, he's saying he's not getting paid from Dolton when they know obviously he is, and he said that under oath. So,
oof,
what? So I think there's enough here. I just think the feds are just waiting. Because right now there's grand jury subpoenas. Let me make it very clear. It's a grand jury subpoena. So it's a grand jury actively investigating this. And what the grand jury does, they'll have, hey, here's the laws we think she broke. And as soon as that happens, she'll eventually be indicted and brought in front of a judge and have to. But the issue would be also too, if she is arrested, which I assume is going to be coming, will she resign? Because a lot of times these politicians get arrested but won't resign. So
she's like, but wait, there's more money to be spent. I have a nail appointment tomorrow. You can't arrest me.
No, I think she's getting arrested. Matter of fact, I'll ask the chat. Give me a 1 in the chat if you think she's going to be arrested, or 2 in the chat if you think she's going to escape.
Yes, chat. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.